have a backup of it.
Exactly.
So I'm waiting for you to tell me let's start. Okay. So when I'm intentionally saying I want you to know it's a good morning is because I feel that your Mondays should be very productive. Somebody says if they're going to make a choice of a day, maybe Monday is one of their most favorable when it comes to productivity. It's just that sometimes when I'm walking like this, a cousin says, I appreciate Fridays more. And I've always said that every day can be a Friday. Let's not go into that. Now, your corporate law teacher is here, and I promised you that when she steps into the building, we'll try to see how we can give you clearer perspective on how you are meant to enjoy this year. Some mistakes you've had in the past should not continue if you've got your corporate law teacher on the dial. Welcome. We missed you last week.
Thank you so much.
All right.
It's good to be back.
So are you telling me thank you for missing or for being
No,
back?
I'm telling you. Thank you for welcoming me today.
All right.
I'm sorry that I was not around last week.
And so this is what we want to do. I told them before you came in, I promoted the conversation that we will be taking a look at the importance of proper documentation and legal drafting in business for business owners, especially small business owners. What do you do? So that you might want to go up and follow. She's always given some clearer perspective on her YouTube page. What's the handle again? Odoma. The Odoma is spelled O-D-M-A. Odoma. Odoma. O-D-M-A. Beautiful. So you aside what we're going to do, we still have more tips and videos that have taught you on how to go about your business. So let's jump on it. Let me ask, what do you call proper documentation, by the way? Let's start from there.
Okay, proper documentation, I mean, just as the word implies, documentation, documenting, like writing things down, right? So it's something that I've observed with especially small business owners, beside very big structured business. I mean, even because when you started to work here, there was an employment letter that was given to you, there was terms of employment that was given to you and all of that.
Though mine is not from here, from my original.
Yes, of course.
So that they know what they are doing. But yes, I have to put that there.
Yes, from wherever your work started from, right?
Very true.
So, but for small businesses that you find around on the streets, especially in our communities here, you notice that people do not take documentation seriously. They don't document things from employment of their staff, to business structures, the administration of everyday administration of their business. So that. If you don't do documentation, you're not able to build business structure or system. Like the business, it will become very difficult for you to scale. So, for instance, let's say you have a tailoring shop, and then eventually you start to grow, and then you have people working even if the cleaner that comes to clean, the person that helps you to do clerical work, you just say, oh, I need somebody. You hire the person, say, okay, I'll be paying you X amount at the end of the month, and that's it. And then you can fire the person when you want to fire the person. So there's no terms of employment or interaction. So what I mean by proper documentation is from A to Z of your business transaction. This is how I want to run this business. Even when I'm not around, somebody should be able to run the business exactly how you would have run the business if you were there. If it's documented, they just follow the process.
I'm trying to make sense now. Someone says I've been doing my business for the past 10 years and it's no longer a news for me. So talk to me. Why should I do proper documentation? Because for them, we have enjoyed it for 10 years and nothing has gone back.
Okay, so now why you should have this documentation? Just like you're saying, you don't know what will happen tomorrow. Something can take you away, tomorrow, and then somebody else needs to come around this business. I mean, you can even break down health-wise, and even if you don't break down, if you document your business, see, it saves you a lot of time and a lot of energy. So a lot of things that you do manually before, when you put them into structures and systems, now you can have more time on your hands to. I mean, it's just like what internet, AI, and all of these things have come to do for us right now. So it has improved the way we work, the way we do things, so that what you spend like 10 hours doing before, now with maybe AI or enhanced system, you can do it under 2 hours, and then the remaining 8 hours you can use it to do other productive stuff. So if you've been running your business for say past 10 years and you guys don't have documentation, see, it becomes very difficult for you to scale. Now, yes, when you do proper documentation, it helps you to understand patterns. Who are my customers? Do you understand? How do where do we spend money the most? How can we save money? How can we, when you just record the patterns alone, it helps you to use the data to improve your business.
Now, we will still go back to that, but let me make sense of this. Is legal drafting the same as proper documentation?
Okay, so
she's taking her time. Yes,
that's a good question. Yeah. Well, now when I say legal drafting, so in business interactions and business relationship. So for instance, the employment data that you give to somebody is a draft or is a kind of documentation, and there has to be some legal approach to it. You need to cover a lot of things. If not the fact that we are in Nigeria and sometimes the labor law is not usually properly enforced, there are certain things that must be covered in employment. So there's a legal approach to it. So also, beside the employment a relationship that you have with your employees, when you're doing business, you partner with people, you interact with other people. So let's say in your partnership relationship, let's even take you for example, because
she has always used me for example, and you are learning. Go ahead.
You are a voice on radio. Outside of this radio, you also do other stuff. You host events, you manage events, and let's assume that there's this big media house that say, cause let's what you do on radio. Why don't we just have you as part of our team, so that when we need somebody to manage this kind of event for us, we'll just always defer to you. So now it's not like a proper employment, it's just something that you help them to do as an aside. So you guys might want to have a contract to that effect, for instance. How should the terms of this relationship be? Relationship, certain documentation, certain draft contracts that must have a legal approach to it in business relationship.
Very clear. It made such sense. Now, except for you, cousin, maybe you need more clarifications on that, as we've positioned already, on the importance of proper documentation and legal drafting in business. And our light is on business, especially small business owners. She had painted a picture of a tailor, and they said, "No, I'm not a tailor, I'm a fashion designer." You know what I mean? I'll be baptized. I understand that. So you could reach us on 0707 242 6258. You've got some other questions you would want to ask your corporate law teacher. You could reach us on 0707 242 6258. It's our intention that you are able to get your business structure clear, so that even when you are not there, the system drives itself correctly, because the structure has been laid by proper documentation and legal drafting. So while we await your calls to come through, maybe I can continue with you, as I'm hoping that you talk to us more. You actually are stressing business owners, especially small business owners. So the big guys now are not supposed to do this.
No, because not just small business owners, but usually when a business scale is a big business, normally they are well structured. I have worked with big companies before, and they are properly structured. So you see a business that has a full-blown admin department, a full-blown HR department, a full-blown accounting department, so that handles some of these documents. In fact, a full-blown legal department. That I have worked as a company lawyer, for companies before. So you handle all of these things, but small businesses may not have money to hire all these professionals. So a lot of things are lumped up, and it even takes some people the moment, because they didn't start structured. When the business starts growing, it becomes difficult for them to even branch out and put on some of these structures. So I advise my clients. In fact, there's a client of mine that the business is a new business, but it's not starting small. They have all the funds, they have all the finance. Why don't you start and structure properly? So that as you grow into those structures. Of course, let's not forget that the foundation of structuring your business is registering it with CAC. I don't want us to.
It's important. We can always cut back there. Because what I know is radio is transient.
Yes.
Some cousins are just joining us for the first time. They didn't know that you handled business registration before.
Yes.
Which I have told myself that before I leave, I would always have that to be the conclusion of conversation, right? Sure. So now look at what I'm thinking. You see, at some point, a cousin who is following up now would want to say it has always been word of mouth that we've had our relationship with my employee, if I've got any. Now that you are speaking about proper documentation and legal drafting, I'm feeling I need to have an understanding. What happens to me now? Maybe because they don't have a detailed understanding about that. They might want to talk with you on personal basis for clarifications. But before you do that, I would also want you to speak on it on live radio now, so that we're able to know why it is not always about words of mouth. Let it be proper documentation, to the disadvantage of some cousins that have not done proper documentation before. So let's hear you talk to us on why we shouldn't continue with words of mouth. It must be proper documentation.
Okay, so just like you have said, it's in fact it cannot be overemphasized. You know, when you could be having a very wonderful relationship with people, you don't know when issues will arise, and you don't know when confusion and all of that will come. So it's very good for you to have proper document. Let's assume that you have just maybe 2 or 3 persons working with you. You don't have terms of employment. You do not have, in fact, to your own detriment and also the employee, it is very important that you state what you are employing this person to come and do for you. Let the scope of job be captured so that they also can know. You know, in Nigeria, sometimes
somebody is a cell girl, the next thing is cleaning the environment.
Do you understand? Exactly. Even if you want them to do all of that, you should state it out. You should write it out, right? And then you should in fact, it gives the employee a sense of they need to know what their job responsibility is. Sometimes these people are left to figure things out for themselves, and it's not even good for your own business. Just like I said. And then number 2, it helps you to monitor the growth of your business.
I love this.
Yes.
Now let's talk partners, because I think that's another perspective. You have spoken about the employee relationship now, where we must do the documentation. How about partnership? Because some cousins will tell you, okay, my own business, I have about 3 or 4 different people that I partner with, but we don't have any proper documentation.
That's even more important than I think
the employee. Okay, talk to us.
You know, I mean, okay, so let's say because I will use it.
No problem. Pleasure. All pleasure.
I'll use it again for example. So let's say you just start this side business in agriculture, and you say, oh, you have like 10 hectares of land, and then you now call me, say, oh, Helen, come bring some money. I say, okay, take this 5 million naira, put it into the business.
I'm feeling the money.
And we don't have anything written down. No terms